Okay. Let's give this another shot. Bitcoin is dumping, but my computer also just dumped on me. But let's think. Okay, I'm not going to do that. All right, let's get started. Bitcoin's dumping. Already basically have taken out all of the bounce that we got yesterday. The stock market in general stocks are in general pretty flat for today. Before we get started though, let me know, is the sound and everything better? My computer literally dumped on me big time. Everything was just going nuts. Is everything good? Let me get like a 1 if the quality's back, or a 2 if it's garbage, and 3 if you're insanely bullish. Okay, cool. Looks like things are back. We're back. The price isn't back, but we're back. All right, let's dump into a few things. Actually, start off. Peter Sniff, my favorite. My favorite. Peter Sniff, sitting on his golden throne. Bitcoin has no future. It's not a good medium of exchange for payments. To the extent you want to use crypto, even Cathie Wood admits stable coins are better. If you want to store a value, tokenized gold wins hands down. Imagine a future where Bitcoin and the entire crypto market dies, and Mr. Sniff and his tokenized gold takes up the entire market cap of crypto. Wouldn't that be ironic? The race to get out of Bitcoin is on. Don't be last, says Peter Sniff. All right, let's actually take a trip down memory lane real quick. Right here, this tweet from 2023, just about exactly 2 years ago. Bitcoin is approaching 38K as speculators continue to front-run a new Bitcoin ETF. However, once that ETF is launched, all of the speculators will have already bought. So when those buyers sell to take profits, there will be many left to buy. Get ready for a crash. And this was when Bitcoin was at 38K. And then we went up to about 126K, which may or may not be the top of this year, potentially the top of all time. Many people, actually, as I've said many times over the past many years, every $1,000 that Bitcoin crashes, especially now, more and more people think it's all ogre, and it very well could be all ogre, right? I don't have a crystal ball. I do have a golden ball, but not quite as large as Peter Sniff's. Pierre Richard on X also posted this, that a Wall Street Journal article published last night said the crypto trades that amplified gains are now turbocharging the losses. And what he makes a point of saying is that this is the kind of signal that often marks a trend reversal. Is this a trend reversal? Well, before we continue with more of the news and these topics, let's really appreciate what is happening right now. Rejection off of the 50 and 21-day moving averages very consistently since falling below in October, early October. And no strength whatsoever on the daily chart. Most oversold the RSI has been in years, as we covered yesterday. The weekly chart for Bitcoin looks absolutely dreadful, bruv. Oh, it looks disgusting. Do we have any viewers in the UK? What kind of accent would I be? What is there like? Is that a Yorkshire? Is that like a Manchester? What is that? Hello. Anyway. 4 consecutive red weekly candles. I'm sore. I'm leaking. I'm sore. It hurts to sit. And it's all because I decided to buy Bitcoin. How could you do this to me? Someone said that's a color, not an accent. What does that mean? So yeah, price looks like garbage. I'm going to be pulling this up every minute or two because I'm just curious if we're going to break the lows of where we bounced yesterday, which was exactly at 89K. Right now, we're just 100 or 2 above that. So still quite disgusting, to be honest. Also, the first time this week that funding rate on Bitcoin has moved into the negative. This does not mean that the dump is over. Don't get me wrong. But typically this signals a bounce is coming. Again, it doesn't mean immediately though. They can stay this way for a long time, meaning the funding rates before we get any bounce. But typically this is where we see the funding rates before we actually get a bounce. JS Builder said, I've been following since the previous cycle top. Did I just miss the top again? There is no top because there is no bottom on fiat, and there's no top on crypto. But at least for today, I think we're all bottoms because we're all getting diddled. We're all getting a nice reach around surprise today. Good to keep an eye on in the days ahead. So yeah, we're going to be keeping a look on that. Yeah, this is quite bloody, bruv. Quite trash. Quite garbage. Absolutely not delicioso. Absolutely not gorgioso. Justin, 95% of all Bitcoin bought in the last 155 days is now underwater, which is higher than the underwater positions of COVID, which was 92%, and higher than the underwater positions of FTX, which was 94%. Good golly. Right, so we understand COVID. We understand FTX. Those were like two pretty big, fundamental, absolute dumpisodes. What is going on behind the scenes right now, right? That's the big question. And maybe we'll have an answer in 6 months from now. Maybe there will be some kind of thing that gets, I mean, that's my biggest, you know, sometimes in life you just get these feelings. Sometimes you get a feeling in your head. Sometimes you get a feeling in your heart. Sometimes you get a feeling somewhere else. Sometimes all three at the same time. But I do live in the city of England, in the country of England. England is my country. And I just have a feeling that we're going to be looking back on this and thinking, and we're going to like get some more insight, some new insight. Because really, this has been such weird price action. There has to be something going on behind the scenes. I don't think we're going to be finding out what it is tomorrow or next week. This is one of those things, in my opinion, where we could find out some interesting news and maybe a year from now, maybe even a couple years from now, where it was like, oh, this is what, you know, maybe there'll be a Netflix documentary. And it'll be like, oh, this was going on. There was this manipulation. There was this, and there's proof of this, right? I don't know. I just think something quite fishy is going on because even in the dumpiest dumps in bull markets and even in straight up dumps in bear markets, we get bounces that are more consistent than what we're getting now. We get more, right? So it doesn't matter how dumpy things get. You still get bounces. Just like in a bull market, it doesn't matter how pumpy things get. You still get dumps. But what I find the most interesting, to be quite British with you, is that we just keep on dumping with absolutely no sign of life. And we have not had any strong reaction bounces, really. Really, we've got none. Actually, what was this? On October 10th, we did go from 102 to, right, that was a decent bounce, 103, and then we've just been slinking and sliding down since then. Wasn't this like the day that CZ got pardoned or something? Wasn't that like the beginning of October? Is that what happened? Be moving back in with me mom. So anyway, I just think that's likely. I think we're gonna like, this price action is just weird, right? Like we're not getting any life, we're not getting any breath breathed back into this market. Something fishy's going on, and it's not me this time. Something smells fishy, and it's not me. Is it you? Who's making that fish smell? So let's actually continue here with this. Okay, BlackRock's ETF has just sold 523 million worth of Bitcoin, over $500 million worth of Bitcoin. This is the highest daily outflow that BYBIT has ever seen. Larry, please stop. Please. Larry, he was supposed to be the savior. He was supposed to make the Moon Boys moonish again, but instead he took away our life force, he took away our gains, and he's taken us out back, and he's having a little fun with us behind the dumpster, and this is no good. No bueno. I know British, I know Spanish. I've really been, honestly, in this dumpy trend, I've been learning a lot. I can speak British, I can speak Spanish. Bueno. Necesito. I know how to say kiss my butt in Spanish, actually. You guys want to hear that? I think it's besa mi culo. Is that how you say it? Anyway, Bitcoin has always seen a relief rally after losing the 50-day moving average at the end of a 4-year cycle. Sorry, the 50-week moving average. He doesn't clarify in this tweet, but I'm pretty sure it's the 50-week moving average. Let me actually increase the size of this real quick. You see right here, losing the 50-week, or sorry, right here, and then you bounce back. Here, bounce back to it. Here, bounce back to it. Yeah, we've lost it. We've lost it all right here. When are we going to get a bounce back to it? Well, not today, that's for sure. Kaleo has been tracking the comparison of the tariff crash recovery to the COVID crash recovery since April. So far, it's played out pretty dang well. And if it continues like Kaleo expects it to, the bottom should be in for stocks and crypto. Why do I think that's not true? Why do I get the feeling that that's not true? Maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully it is true. But all I know is that the diddling will continue until morale improves. And morale is not improving. Morale is only getting worse and worse. I only have 4 sound effects, so I don't even have anything applicable to right now. So I'll just do this one. That's my bones getting cracked because we're getting cracked right now. Not in a good way. We're getting cracked in the bad way. Let's move on. Bitcoin is still in the loading phase. The parabolic rally comes next. You see here, right here, pump, here, pump, vertical accumulation pump. Vertical accumulation for seemingly twice as long as any of these other vertical accumulation times, but no pump to be found. Guys, I just want to also clarify. I'm not expecting that we're going to be pumping the new all-time highs anytime soon, right? I'm just even concerned and curious when we'll even just get literally a dead cat bounce. Because it doesn't matter, even the most bearish people in this space will concede that at least you do get dead cat bounces. You do get fake out pumps. You get reaction bounces on significant supports. Even when they break, you still get bounces. And we're not even getting bounces. Like my ex-girlfriend used to say, I'm not going to bounce on it until, I don't know, I don't have a joke for that. But where's the bounce at? Will there be a bounce? Can there please be a bounce at some point? Just to show us that there's some life in this market? Christmas is canceled, somebody said. Absolutely. There will be no bounce. Dragon Isabel said. That's a cool name, actually. Dragon. Dragon is able. Do you guys believe that dragons ever existed? I do. So before we continue with the actual news and stuff, let's take a look at this. We just did hit a new low. The lowest that we've been since summer of 2025, actually pre-summer, April of 2025, the lowest that we've been in 7 months. This is no bueno, muchachos. I'm going to give it to you straight in English and in Spanish. This is no bueno. This is muy difícil and muchos very bad. Muy very bado. Yumelda says, conclusion, BlackRock is getting out, so strap on. And I might add strap in, but also strap on. And enjoy the crash. I'm ready. Wouldn't be my first time. Wouldn't be my second. And I'm ready. Where are we at here? But in other news, at least Tom Lee says we're going to hit 62,000. At the very least. At least Tom Lee still has our backs. And still putting out ridiculous price predictions. My guy. Can we get some likes in the chat for Tom Lee? Hit that like button if you're glad Tom Lee is here giving us the good news. Love this guy. I love Tom Lee. This guy's the best, man. Big fan. Thanks, Tom. Tom single-handedly is going to take us back to all-time highs. Tom Lee is gay? I don't know. Maybe. Not something I'm very concerned or interested in knowing. Tom Lee is the Bobby Blastoff we need. He's kind of a cool guy. He kind of just gets on there and he just kind of says garbage for... But hey, I agree with him, so I don't necessarily, but I like what he says, so I agree with him. Even though I don't think it is very likely. But where does he even get 62,000 as a price target? I don't understand. John says, I do love Tom Lee. Yeah, honestly, Tom Lee is pretty chill. I like Tom Lee. Also, he's on CNBC a lot. He's actually like, I have CNBC on most days in the morning, like the first hour or so. He's like always on CNBC. They like really like him. He's like a pretty popular guy, I feel like. But yeah, what is this? This top comment says, I've heard about 67,000 different predictions from Tom Lee. And, well, they're never right. ETH is back at one of the biggest support levels from the past 2 years. Daily bullish divergence is forming as well. Is there a bounce incoming? Question mark. No, but let's lie to ourselves and say there is. Is there a bounce incoming? I hope so. I mean, actually, yeah, yesterday ETH was above 3K. Now we're back below it. So, Chipoff says, what's my target for the bounce? Well, if we actually get a bounce, which doesn't look very likely, does it? Doesn't look very good. I don't know. I don't think we're going to get back above the 50-day moving average or the 21-day. So I think the highest we could bounce in the very short term before the structure changes. Here's the thing. Like the structure at this point on a longer term, right, once you get this confirmation on a weekly chart that we're dumping, that changes things. So like we're dumping now. So every bounce we get now is going to get rejected unless this bigger structure changes. On shorter time frames, none of this really matters. We need to find some. We need to bottom basically. In my opinion, best case scenario is that we could be back above 100K by the end of this month, but that would be like we would be fighting for our lives to stay above 100K. The goal would not be to be getting back to all-time highs necessarily anytime soon. The goal would be to just reclaim 100K. So the targets have changed. Now, 100K is the mountain that needs to be climbed. Somebody says, here's a theory. Remember the crash we had, the biggest liquidation in history when some alts dropped 90% and were locked out of our accounts. What if alt season happened but not for retail? Maybe. When was this? Are you talking about like early October or something? When all of the coins got diddled beyond belief? Possibly. Elon Musk says work could become optional in 10 to 20 years. So this is just something I want to talk about real quick and then get back to crypto. And then he was like interviewed here saying AI and humanoid robots will eliminate poverty. So guys, I did want to sprinkle in a brief positive thing because I've always thought this too. And like, you know, I'm just going to talk about it now because Elon just talked about it today, I guess. But it's true. I think in the next 10 years, we're going to have those like sex robots and regular robots and whatever. They're going to be doing like 99% of jobs better than humans have ever been able to. Slowly, but it'll happen. And then honestly, you're going to be able to just like scroll and play video games and like do whatever you want, have sex with the robots if you want, whatever you want to do. You're not really going to have to work. And I think that's an inevitable reality, whether you like it or not. AI and robots are truly going to eliminate the workforce. And it's not going to happen just like overnight, but slowly, right? There's going to be some jobs that get replaced pretty quick. Some jobs will take a little bit longer to get replaced. For example, I made a video like last week or something, and I just said about, you know, what jobs can AI not replace, and I got a lot of responses. Actually, put it in the chat because I forget all of them. If you think there's a job that AI cannot replace or at least won't easily replace, maybe put it in the chat. But like, fast food workers are going to be replaced, unfortunately, because they already have some fast food locations that are completely automated. Robots do it. What's another thing that's going to be easily replaced? Like accountants, right? Who needs number crunchers when you can just plug it into some type of algorithm or something, right? I mean, yeah, like for example, like a plumber will not get replaced by next year or probably within even 5 years. But inevitably, in my opinion, once these robots get good enough and get precise enough with their finger movements and things like that, and their skills, and like I think skilled trades are probably, like somebody just said service workers in the skilled trades. I think they're safer for longer than a lot of jobs, but I don't think any job is safe forever. Same thing, like nurses and doctors, I think those are safe for a long time, but not forever, right? I think on a long enough time scale, everything is going to be replaced. And so anyway, the point of saying this is that in the future, what is that movie? Is it WALL-E, right? Is that where the chubby people are floating around on their little things? In the future, everyone's going to just be able to like consume and do whatever you want to do. Yeah, YouTubers are also going to be replaced. They kind of already, well, not yet, but like probably within a couple, I mean, maybe a year. Like they'll be able to do like AI things, and I mean, yeah, those are going to be replaced. Literally everything is going to be replaced, I think. First, President AI, probably. I mean, at that point, we'll probably all just be slaves or something. I don't know. But somebody said there were news articles in the 1960s predicting that machines and manufacturing would lead people not working anymore in the 2000s. Kind of hard to imagine a world where that happens. I definitely think it would have been hard to imagine that in the 1960s or even the 2010s or the early 2000s. But AI is going to accelerate very quickly, in my opinion. So I don't think that it's impossible. I think it's inevitable. But I just don't think, like, for example, I think that certain jobs are safe for a lot longer than other jobs. But ultimately, I don't think any job is completely safe, no matter what it is. Especially once they really get very functional robots that might even weigh only 200 pounds, but can lift 5,000 pounds. Then, like, you know, you're going to, like, you don't need construction workers. You're not going to need any type of skilled trade because they're going to be robots that can do things way better than we ever could. The strongest guy on the planet is not lifting up a 5,000 pound piece of equipment routinely throughout his day, right? You can't, like, it's never been possible. Robots will be able to do that eventually. So I agree with Elon about that. Tom Lee, what a legend. Love this guy. But let's actually take a look back at the chart. So we're getting the tiniest, littlest bounce currently. We're up about 60. We're up 0.69%. I love how consistent that is. I did it yesterday during the stream. It was another 69% nice drop or pump. I forget what it was. But somebody said, do you think robots will have rights like robot rights instead of human rights like robot rights? I don't know. It really depends on, like, because honestly, you guys know the movie The Terminator, and it's like a lot of the things people will go back to for AI and everything because that's the whole basis of the movie. It really depends on if the AI decides to kill us or not, right? Like, and that's why people, like a lot of people, especially like people in high positions have been saying and warning us, like, yeah, get ready. AI is going to be it could be very dangerous. It's like, yeah, obviously it very well could be like pretty dangerous because how do we know? They don't even know how, like, the AI is learning right now. Like they're training the AI and making it better and stuff, but they don't really know what it's doing, like, fully. They don't have a complete understanding of how it's doing what it's doing. We don't understand consciousness in general. Are we creating consciousness right now with AI? Probably. Nobody knows. I mean, so, like, obviously you can see why that might be dangerous. John Smith said, oh, well, also, I love John Smith. I love that name. I wonder how many John Smiths have existed. We need a robot doing this channel because you married your bags. No, I didn't marry them. I'm very aware that we're absolutely getting dumped on right now. But yeah, AI should be our servant, not our master, but that's true. I mean, it should be, but hey, there's no way to guarantee that that's going to be how it ends up. So let's take a look even at gold today. Had a nice move earlier up, but obviously, as I've been saying, I think gold is in the middle of a dead cat bounce. Bitcoin dominance has been falling for 2 weeks straight, so that's interesting as well. Yeah, total market cap looks like garbage. ETH looks like garbage. Bitcoin looks like garbage. Even stocks today are pretty flat. They're all flat. All the major indices are just basically flat, teetering between, like, the tiniest gains or the tiniest dumps. Somebody said one thing that's true is that it will be big, and I absolutely agree with that. It'll be not just big, potentially mega big. Did that work? Did you guys hear the sound effect when I did that? Did that work? Oh, nice. Okay, cool. It worked. Okay, cool. Ammon said, normally I cream my jorts to a pre-recorded video. Now I can cream it live. We can all, that's the thing about, I wanted to do this live during the dump episode because it's better to cream together than alone, or as friends. It's better to get dumped on. My mom always said that growing up. It's better to get dumped on with friends than it is to get dumped on alone. And I agree. Getting dumped on alone, it's all right. But getting dumped on with friends, it's beautiful. Life is temporary. We're not going to be here forever, so we might as well make the most of it. We got to get dumped on with our fellow human beings. It's crazy, right? Human beings have existed for a while, but we all exist at this exact time together. That's kind of rare, you know? So we need to be thankful and appreciative of that. Because we could be getting dumped on with cavemen from a million years ago, but we're not. We're getting dumped on together as Homo sapiens, or whatever the current thing we are is. Artificially engineered beings, meaning us, by aliens, possible. McRib is back, which is usually supposed to be a bullish signal. Apparently it is not, because we're still getting absolutely crushed and creamed, so... Super Saiyan Igor said, "Don't insult me. He's actually a hetero sapien." True. I guess I'm as well a hetero sapien. What is that? Support Actician IT. We let go 5 years ago. Could never find work. Moved to 2 countries since then, and now in the process of starting my own business. Nice. Yeah. So like IT, for example, was getting probably replaced even before AI. I mean, so like, yeah. Oh, they renamed us to Homo sapiens sapiens. What does that mean? Like, why is there 2 sapiens now? Can't believe the ride over the last 3 years, and now we're here. I mean, let's be fair though. Like, Bitcoin did pretty good. Well, Bitcoin did okay. How would you guys feel? This is a good question, actually. How would you guys feel if, let's just say, altcoins across the board made it back to their all-time highs from 2021, and Bitcoin did the exact same thing? So Bitcoin, let's say it topped out at 126K, but all of the alts from 2021 also made it back to those previous all-time highs, but not any higher, but at least back to their all-time highs. Would you be more satisfied with this bull run? Right? Would you be less satisfied? Would you be more? Because that's actually kind of a depressing even statement or question to ask, because not only did we not put in new all-time highs for like alts across the board, we didn't even get back to the all-time highs from 2021. But to be fair, let's be honest about this for a second. If altcoins did have a mega bounce and they made it back to their previous all-time highs, 99.9% of people would be expecting that, okay, this is the beginning of the actual pump, and you wouldn't have sold, right? You wouldn't sell. You'd be like, okay, I just waited 3 years to get back to all-time highs. Now this is where the gains are. I'm going to hold until we actually pump. So I think 99% of people would not have sold just at break even anyway, because really, why would you sell at break? Well, I guess you technically could be in profit if you just bought through 3-year bear market or 2-year bear market. But either way, it was going to be a lose-lose situation unless alts really at least went above their previous all-time highs, which, of course, as we all now know, they did not. For what it's worth. When is the business cycle going to pump? When is the business cycle, the ISM, when is the liquidity cycle going to pump this market? Because that's the only thing apparently that can really move this thing. Without that, we're not moving. We really need this thing to change trajectory fast. We really need the macro to change. As we all know, apparently, we've run, like, the fundamentals and the pro-crypto regulation, all that. That news is not even, that's not going to pump the market anymore. We need like a fundamental cash injection. We need actual liquidity, and we just don't have it. And really the only question that matters as of today, right now, as we're getting dumped on, literally the only thing that matters is, when are we going to get a day where it just doesn't slow bleed down? This doesn't count. This is garbage. This is like a little baby. I mean, like I just said, it was already a race. This doesn't count. This is absolute just trash. This week is trash. Bouncing from 99 to 107. Actually, I mean, that's the biggest pump we've seen in about a month. So I guess it's not trash. It's just that we've had no reactions, no bounces. It's just been absolute dump after dump after dump. Give me 1 sec. My mom texted me. She said, Tyler, stop hogging all the Wi-Fi. We can't watch Dateline. Just kidding. I don't live with my parents, but it's a nice joke to, because I get comments all the time, like people saying that I live with my mom and stuff. Oh, that's another thing. Everyone, be nice to your parents. Respect your parents. Treat them with love. You only get 2 parents. Sometimes people don't even get to grow up with parents, so it's important to be nice to them and spread the positivity. Bath time. Yeah, my mom's texting me because I'm late for bath time. I have to gotta end the stream so I can get my bath. It's bath time. My normal 12 o'clock in the middle of a workday bath. Ma'am. What's the biggest one-day pump that I've ever seen? So actually, that's a good question because oh, I don't sound British. What about this? Hello. The biggest one-day pump that I've ever seen was any time over the past 8 years because I have quite literally watched the charts every single day for the past 8 years. Isn't that kind of insane as well? There has not been a single day in the past 8 years since 2017 that I have not stared at a chart for at least probably cumulatively for the day an hour, maybe cumulatively. So whatever the biggest pump that's happened in the past 8 years, I've seen it because I've I've had an addiction to crypto for sure. It's the only widget that I have on my phone, like checking the prices of crypto. Somebody said, is there a CME gap at 86,000? Yeah, potentially, but we just filled a CME gap at 92,000, 91,000, and then continued to immediately dump right after that. So I'm going to be honest, I don't really care about CME gaps when we're just getting dumped on day in, day out, and there's no signs of bouncing. They don't matter, right? Some CME gaps fill. Isn't there like a CME gap below like 20K? There's probably CME gaps everywhere. I don't know. I just don't. CME. It's always funny. CME gaps only ever get brought up once the market starts dumping. Like nobody cares about talking about them when things are going well. Let me actually pull up a couple tweets here real quick. The very first one on my feed. I love this. All right, we'll talk about this in a sec. I'm gonna put it on the screen for now. It's beautiful, beautiful. About 115 million was liquidated from the crypto market in the last hour. Unbelievable. No support or resistance being flipped whatsoever. Just straight dumping, just straight down. Let's see. What is this? Yeah, let's take a look at this tweet. So, Peter Sniff, the Bitcoin sales pitch is that it has always been the best performing asset, but so far in 2025 it's been the worst. Bitcoin is down about 5% this year. NASDAQ is up 17%. Even gold is up about 53%. That's pretty bleak. MicroStrategy, the premier Bitcoin stock, is down 35% in 2025 and down 65% from November 2024. Wow. Wow. Can you imagine? Can you imagine owning Bitcoin right here? I can imagine. The fear and greed index as well has lasted more than 3 days in extreme fear until now. We're currently on day 5. Or sorry, I worded that wrong. The fear and greed index has never lasted more than 3 days in extreme fear until now. Wait, think about that for a second. Can you believe that actually? Wait, let's talk about this for a second. We're currently on day 5 of being in extreme fear, and apparently, according to CoinMarketCap itself, the website, you know? Also, is Bubba Trump or is Bubba Bill Clinton? What does Bubba mean? Isn't there that like speculation that he potentially Slurpy Gerpy? Crazy to think about. CMC Fear and Greed Index has never lasted more than 3 days in extreme fear until now. We're currently on day 5. This is, and the top comment even says, that didn't even happen during FTX or Luna's collapse. Somebody said that's not true. Is it not? Is it not true? CoinMarketCap itself tweeted it. Let me see if any comments Yeah, maybe that isn't true. Maybe that's not. Either way, it's just crazy how every indicator, every sentiment and like fear, basically every like social based indicator is telling us that like this is one of the worst dumps we've ever seen. Obviously, the price of Bitcoin is still at 89,000. So if you go back a year or so, that's like a lot higher than it was. But the fact that the sentiment indicators are just so pathetic, really, and just showing us that like, yeah, it's like the dump is just getting worse and worse and worse. It's kind of crazy, right? And that's why I said, like earlier in the stream, I think this is going to be one of those Netflix moments where there's going to be like a movie made after this, and it's going to expose all of the stuff that was going on behind the scene, and like it'll be like, hey, yeah, remember back in late 2025 when like we just were dumping over and over without any bounce, and things just got worse and worse, unlike any bear or bull market we've ever seen in terms of like no bouncing whatsoever. I just feel like there is going to be one of those moments where like, you know, something gets revealed. I don't think it'll be soon. Like I said, I don't think we're going to be finding out soon, but in the future, you know, maybe 10 years from now, maybe 5 years from now, we'll see a Netflix documentary and be like, oh, it's so-and-so was dumping the entire time, or this is what BlackRock and the ETFs were doing to manipulate the price, or and also let me give you a nice little switcheroo for that potential story, is that Netflix documentary that comes out in 10 years about the price and the manipulation, what if, as they're talking about it, they close out the documentary by showing the Bitcoin price and we're at like 3 million. And this whole manipulation, this whole suppression, all of this dirty business that's been going on behind the scenes was just a temporary, again, manipulation so that they could buy a lot and then shake all of us out, shake all of retail out, shake all the little guys out, and buy it up for themselves and, you know, pump Bitcoin to infinity and beyond. Because if there's one thing that I've learned about institutions and people with a lot of money, this is actually, let's be very clear. I want to be very clear about this, and I want to make sure that I hype this up enough and say this when everyone's listening. One thing that I've learned about institutions and billionaires and people with money is that they do not want other people, especially random, smaller people, everyday people, most people, they do not want them getting rich. They don't want us getting rich. They don't want us making money. They don't want us benefiting. They are just very, very, very greedy. Very, for lack of a better word, malevolent, hateful, right? Like whatever word you want to use. Do they, you know, you think these people, like if everybody had, they want to stay at the top and they will do anything to stay at the top. True, right? Like there's nothing that would change that. I don't think. As long as there's powerful people at the top, it is basically their number one goal to keep themselves powerful at the top. And the only way you can do that is by dumping on everyone else. So is it that far-fetched to think in a couple of years we might find out like, oh yeah, this was happening because they were just trying to shake as many of the normal Bitcoin investors out? Also, do you think they might have a bone to pick with people who got into Bitcoin a couple years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago? We all know that Wall Street was late to buying Bitcoin. Everyone knows it. Wall Street didn't actually start getting into Bitcoin until about early 2024 with the Bitcoin spot ETFs. A couple of big players did, you know, maybe a couple years before that, maybe back in 2021 and stuff. But as a whole, it's just been mocked and ridiculed by institutions and billionaires for a long time, right? So they were late. Do you think maybe they're a little angry that they were late? Spiteful, jealous that they were late? Do you think that once they have the reins, which it looks like maybe they have the reins right now, do you think it's possible maybe they just want to shake out as many people as possible before pumping it? Ruin the sentiment as much as possible before they pump it? Yeah, I mean, they're definitely doing a good job at ruining the sentiment. They're definitely doing a good job at making people feel like it's absolute cooked. We're absolutely cooked. They're doing a good job. And they have a vested interest in doing that because they can directly benefit from it. Rolling says, are we cooked? Right now we're cooked. Someone says, is there a chance FOMC meeting notes, what's up, Diane's Life, inside Diane's Life? Is there a chance FOMC meeting notes will pump the market? I'm going to give you my opinion. No. Next question. This is their plan B because everyone got off of Bitcoin Core. You should see Pepe and Bonk. Or is Pepe and Bonk pumping right now? I don't really care at all, but it looks like Bonk is down 7%. Is Pepe up? Looks like Pepe is down 6%. What am I missing? Code Magic said, just took a huge rip for Tyler S. Stream. Yo, let's go. Let's get some rips in the chat. If we can actually gather everyone right now, everybody that's interested, just right now, we'll give it a minute for everyone to get prepared. But yeah, absolutely gather up some rips for the stream. Somebody just said, yeah, if you're young enough, just buy $10 of Bitcoin every day. Yeah, still, it's what I'm gonna be doing. I'm just buying as much Bitcoin as I can. Every time that I have free money, I'm just putting it into Bitcoin. I don't think about it. It's doing well. It's been doing well for the past 8 years. I'm not gonna overthink it. I'm not gonna change my plan for a dump, right? But I just got done working out actually. Man, I did some like legs today too. Like, oh my gosh, legs just suck the energy out of me too. Leg day, I don't know what it is about leg day, but it's just like very tiring. I guess because legs are like a big part of your body, right? Why do you think Bitcoin dominance is dropping? That's something I actually brought up a little bit earlier in the stream. I think that's interesting. You would think Bitcoin dominance would be like soaring right now, right? Wouldn't you think? Or at least, if not soaring, at least green. But it's really not. I don't know. I don't know why Bitcoin dominance is not, right? I don't really understand that fully. Let's see. It looks like the SPX is having a little bit of a bounce on the day. The SPX is at least. DXY has been kind of slowly rallying a little bit. Let me actually zoom out here. Not really rallying, but we're getting cumstered and dumpstered on the daily, as T Money 420 says in the chat. Holy, that's actually, I just needed a second to absorb. That's a sick name, T Money 420. It rhymes. It has money and 420. Nice. Dude, that is a crazy name. I wish I would have named my channel T Money 420 actually. That's pretty dope. Did I ever get my species reassignment surgery to get like a bullish surgery to be more of a bull? I was told that I wasn't bullish enough for the surgery and they turned me down. But luckily for me, I was actually too bullish instead of bullish enough. And I wasn't bearish enough. Just kidding. I wasn't bullish enough actually. That's actually why we're dumping, is because I wasn't bullish enough. If I would have been more bullish, we'd probably be at about 5 or 600,000 per Bitcoin right now, but it's my bad. I was not bullish enough actually. T Money 420 says his name is Tyler also. Dude, that's insane. That's actually like mega chill. Oh yeah, no, so let me go back to the daily chart. Unbelievable. Absolute garbage price action. This is the lowest the daily RSI has been since February. But, I mean, obviously, no surprise. That was at a bottom. There's a lot of things telling us that, like, man, even short term, this should be a bottom. And it's just kind of amazing to me watching this day in, day out. This is the fourth day in a row that I've done a stream. Not that long. Like, that's not that much. But 4 days in a row, you would think out of those 4 days, there's going to be like some sort of maybe recovery thing, especially because we were dumping well before 4 days ago. It's not like we just started dumping 4 days ago. NBE? What is NBE? Is that non-binary or something? When a girl puts queer on her dating app, what does that mean? Can somebody explain to me what that means? I have no idea what that means. Sort of bi? Like she's sort of bisexual? Someone just said she's weird. It means swipe left, stay away. It means she is a Bitcoin bull. I just don't understand what that means. No, because they have an option for lesbian and they have an option for bisexual. What does queer mean? Why is there so many different things, man? How many different things do we need? They don't have an option for bullish, which is kind of upsetting because that's what I would put on mine. Bubba? Bubba? I'm really excited for, I don't even, honestly, I don't, at this point, I'm excited for there to be like a flash dump or a flash pump. But this has just been so boring. These last couple days, it's just been like it's been baby dumps. I don't want to see baby dumps. Actually crash it or pump it. Give me something, right? I mean, she's going to the police to accuse me of, yeah, true. Yeah. Maybe she meant queef. I'm not opposed to that. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of that, of queef. There's no homophobia whatsoever thrown into this. It was a genuine question. I just don't know what queer means. Somebody said last week Tyler was talking about not bullish enough, and now we're talking about crashing. I'm still not bullish enough. Don't get me wrong. The price is going down, but here's a little trick. Things are looking pretty good now. Does this make you guys a little more bullish? Things are looking pretty good right now. Actually, this is a nice little exercise we can do to reframe our just so we can kind of reset our mindset a little bit here, right? You just flip it. And if this is what the chart looked like without me flipping it, what would I think? Well, actually, I mean, this is why this is a good exercise, because what I would be thinking right here, okay, this could actually end up being beneficial. What I would be thinking right here, if this is what the chart looked like, you would think, this is a dead cat bounce, or at least, or no, sorry, not a dead cat bounce. This is a fake out, and we're just going to keep going lower. Or yeah, a dead cat bounce, basically, right? If this is what the chart looked like for Bitcoin right now, one, we would be even more depressed. Everybody would be depressed, right? Because look, I mean, basically it would mean we've been going down for 3 straight years, and every single time we had one of these pumps, it was a fake out, and we just got dumped. So that's actually a good way of looking at this. And when you flip it too, you can kind of see like, okay, did we break the necessary resistance we needed, and this could actually turn into a pump? Like, did we? And I would say at this point, no. Like, if this is what the chart looked like, no, it doesn't look like we're about to break out. And that's good news if you're actually bullish here, because remember, this is inverted. So if you invert it this way, yes, it looks bad, it feels bad if you want to be mega bullish, but it just shows you that actually, wow, the structure is actually insanely good still, right? Like, the structure still looks good. Whereas, again, we flip it. This would not be a chart that I would look at. And this would just not get me optimistic about the price if this is what it looked like. I mean, 3 years of just getting straight dumped on, right? This would be garbage. I would be like, oh yeah, sure, we might be pumping right now, but this is actually just a fake out, and we're not going to keep going higher. So, hey, that's your little bit of daily hopium, is that when you flip it and you actually put it to what it actually is. Kyle said, dude is absolutely struggling to find the positive in this market. I mean, yes, that's literally what I'm doing. I'm trying to find the positive when there is none. That's the point. What does Bubba mean? People keep saying Bubba. Who's Bubba? Bubba T? Bubba T? Somebody said about XRP. We can look at XRP. Do we have any we have any XRP holders in the chat? When are we going to 589 or whatever? Carl said you're my little Bubba. Bubba Trump and Epstein. Trump Blue Bubba. Okay. That's a topic for another Boba Fett in Star Wars. Actually like that. That's good. That's good. Yeah, XRP looks honestly probably better than some altcoins, actually. I mean, the structure at least, well, I mean, to be fair though, XRP did have to survive years and years of getting absolutely eviscerated. Yeah, XRP is holding on to its bottom better than ADA, for example. What's Solana doing? Solana doesn't look too bad, actually. ETH, it's all right. Look at that, boys. We're actually bouncing again, so I guess the bear market is over. Look at that. We've already bounced 0.7%. Looks like the bear market's over and the bulls are back. We can start leasing cars and taking out loans or whatever. Wait, that's a good question. Has the hotline been posted on Reddit yet? Because that's usually like a sign that everything's getting dumped on whatsoever. Super cycle incoming. Yeah, maybe a super dump cycle. I don't know about a super cycle. Maybe a super dumpy cycle is coming. I'm just kidding. We could be at 100K by tomorrow. Actually, David, you just made a good point. I'm gonna do something that has the chance of really turning things around here. Let me make my full screen real quick so I can plot this out. Because I want this to be good. Ooh, that's pretty good. I want to make sure I do this right. All right. All right, let's smash it up to 300 likes and then I'll show you my screen. But I want to wait until we can get up to 300 likes before I show you guys what I did. Smash up the likes and subscribes, otherwise I'm not going to show the screen. How about that? Yeah, we smashed up the likes and subscribes, and then I'll show you what I just did, and something that'll honestly change how you feel about this market. And honestly, might make you a little more bullish than you thought you could be, especially on a day like today. Big Daddy says he's unliking now. Well, that's unfortunate, and that's also pretty upsetting, but you got to do what you got to do. We're getting close. I know I'm at 350. Are we at 369 yet? Let's actually smash it up to 420 likes. Someone said I'm being a baby. Absolutely. That is the point. You are being extorted. Smash up the likes, smash up the subscribes, or I'm not going to show you the big thing that I just drew. I'll give you a hint, though. It is big. You guys might be guessing what it is, but that doesn't... You won't know for sure until I show it. All right. I think we're almost there. It's almost there? We're almost there? Almost there? Can we get some hype in the chat? I need some more sound effects. I only have 4. These kind of suck. Like I feel like there's so many other things that I could be, like other sounds that I could have, but I don't know what else to put. Somebody said the photo is going to be underwhelming. It's possible. Well, what if it's overwhelming? All right, we're going to do a countdown. And you know what? No, hold on. I'm not happy with this. Give me 1 sec. Okay. All right. I want you guys to be satisfied with this, so I want to make sure it's okay. Okay, ready? All right, cool. Let's go. I forget the button that I have to press. Here it is. Now, you might be looking at this and thinking, wow, that's like, okay, it's not that big, but you don't even know where it ends, do you? Okay, cool. We're dumping again. Actually, let me see here. Yeah, we're dumping again. It is pretty big. I mean, look at this. We're at about 500,000 right now on the, or let me actually zoom out to this. We're at about 500,000 right now on the price of Bitcoin, and you can't even see the actual arrow yet, right? Yeah, no, people are getting hype in the chat, and I think it's rightfully so. I think people are like, it's pretty big, right? That's not small. That's like pretty big. It's at least average. If you stretch it out. Look at this. There it is. Above $2 million. That's big. You know, a lot of people agree. Like, at this point, I'm even convinced, like, that's pretty big, right? Like, everyone's saying that's pretty big. I don't know. I feel like it's not as big as I could have drawn. Like, for sure, I could have gone even bigger, but that's pretty big. I don't think anyone would be complaining about that, right? Like, it's bigger than average. It's not super girthy, but I don't know how to make it girthier. I feel like I need to actually, on the next stream, I'll try and find out some tips and tricks on how to make it girthier, because I know how to make it longer. I don't know how to make it girthier though. Laughlin says they've seen bigger. All right, well, you know, that's fine. I tried my best. Like, I can only do so much. It's what I was born with. I actually was impressed with that. I think it was pretty big. And if you don't think it's big, maybe you're just being a little critical, and maybe you're the issue, not me. Maybe it's actually your problem, and it's not even mine, actually. It's your fault. You should be the one that introspects and figure out what's wrong with you, actually, not me. It's not my fault. Well, I think this stream has run its course until something actually happens. I would love to come back and do like a late evening stream one of these days. It's just that, unfortunately, I haven't had the opportunity to come do like a late evening stream because the price has been kind of boring, right? Like, I would love to do a stream when something big is happening, but it's been kind of boring. So if you guys are new here, hit that like and subscribe. I will try my best to come back on the next stream with the biggest arrow that I could make. And to be honest, I'm kind of a sensitive person, and I want to make sure that it's good. I want to make sure it's big. I want to make sure that everyone thinks that the arrow is satisfactory. And so I'm going to try my best to come back and make as big of an arrow as I can, right? I don't want to like get on here and put a small arrow on. That's like really upsetting. I want people to come here expecting a big arrow, and I want them to get a big arrow. And I'm going to do research, and I'm going to try my best. So that's what I'll be working on, is making sure that the arrow is big. Are we still dumping? Kind of, not really. My goodness. What is today? Wednesday? I hope everyone has a good Wendy's. Hope everyone has a good Wendy's Wednesday. And bye.